I'm Nayaswami Gyandev, and for many years I've had the honor of telling the tale of the Mahabharata. It has everything you could ever want in a story. Adventure, intrigue, heroism, villainy, suspense, mystery, romance, even humor. And above all, it's one of the world's great scriptures, containing as it does much spiritual wisdom, especially in the Bhagavad Gita. The story revolves around a struggle between two sets of royal cousins. Both want to rule the kingdom. It's an allegory for our own quest for true, lasting happiness. Each character represents a specific psychological or spiritual quality within us. The 5 Pandava brothers represent positive qualities. They're the rightful heirs to the throne, just as we want to live by our higher nature. But the 100 Kaurava brothers, our lower nature, constantly plotted against their Pandava cousins and secretly tried to kill them. All the attempts failed, and eventually, in hope of avoiding further conflict, the elders of the royal family divided the kingdom. Half went to the Pandavas, half went to the Kauravas. The Pandavas soon grew very powerful in their kingdom, and the greedy Kauravas coveted the Pandavas' kingdom. They knew it was chancy to fight the Pandavas, so instead they challenged the Pandavas to a game of dice. Now, the Pandavas knew very well the game was rigged against them, but their warrior code of honor demanded that they meet every challenge given them. When they arrived for the game of dice, the Kaurava's uncle, a crafty dice player and a known cheater, laid out the terms of the wager. If we win, then you Pandavas will have to go into exile in the forest for 12 years and live in strict poverty. And then in a 13th year, you must live in some inhabited region without being recognized. For if you are recognized, then you will have to go back to the forest for 12 more years. Meanwhile, we shall take over your kingdom. And of course, if you win, then the roles shall be reversed. The Pandavas accepted the terms of the game, and the Kaurava's uncle picked up the dice. Lo, I have won! The Kauravas shouted with glee. The Pandavas' kingdom was theirs, and their mortal enemies would have to endure 13 long years of hardship and humiliation. The Pandavas endured those 13 difficult years, and at the end of their exile, they demanded the return of their kingdom. Not surprisingly, the Kauravas refused. And so it is with us. Our entrenched habits don't give way easily to another mode of thinking, of living. So we have a choice. We can leave things as they are, if we're happy enough, or if we want more happiness, we need to put out the energy to make changes. The Pandavas could see that the people of the kingdom were suffering because of the rule of the evil Kauravas, so they opted to put out some energy themselves. Both sides gathered huge armies, and the Bhagavad Gita begins with those armies arrayed for combat. Arjuna, the mightiest of the Pandava warriors, was surveying the enemy forces, where he saw his cousins, his uncles, his dear grandfather, his beloved teacher in the art of combat, all of them arrayed to fight against him. And he said to Krishna, his spiritual teacher, I don't think I can go through with this. Oh, Krishna, seeing my relatives arrayed for battle, my limbs are failing me. I see no benefit in slaying my own kinsmen. Of what use is kingdom or wealth if our own relatives must be killed? It would be a great sin. Better I myself should be killed. I hereby throw down my weapons. And he sat down in his chariot. Krishna said, Arjuna, how has this come over you? It is disgraceful for a warrior to run from battle, and more disgraceful for you, who've been looking forward to this fight for so many years. Forsake this faint-heartedness. Stand up and fight. Arjuna said, Krishna, how can I fight with my grandfather and my teacher? They should be honored, not fought. I'm beginning to doubt the righteousness of our cause. But I am your disciple. Tell me what I should do. Still, I see no good reason for fighting. Not kingdom, not wealth, not even sovereignty in heaven. I shall not fight. Now the Gita departs from outward allegory and addresses the inner quest directly. Like Arjuna, we may feel that doing away with our negative qualities somehow diminishes us, kills something inside of us. But Krishna says, no, that's not the case. Your negative qualities are just patterns of energy. And if you break a pattern, you don't kill anything. What you do is liberate the energy so you can get stronger. And Krishna gave the key to how to do that. Arjuna, now I shall give you the knowledge of yoga. Through yoga, you will learn to master your mind and leave behind all attachments, all fears, all self-imposed limitations. This is the way of the wise, the way to freedom from all sorrow, the way to live in complete mental tranquility and the never-ending bliss of your own being. Now listen carefully, Arjuna, for true happiness can be yours. The rest of the Gita is a roadmap for how to know the ultimate reality of our own being and find true, lasting happiness. Like Arjuna, we may resist the effort, but sooner or later our own craving for happiness will force us to set out on the journey. There's simply no other route to the high fulfillment that every person seeks. Arjuna finally realizes this, and he becomes eager for combat. And the apocalyptic battle of Kurukshetra begins. There's so much to the Mahabharata, both before and after the Gita. I hope to have the opportunity to share with you more of this marvelous, uplifting saga.